Cool. Go ahead. 9, 10. Good on sound? Hi, this is Nick from Tilta. We're at NAB 2023 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today we're here with the brand new Nucleus Nano II. So there's a lot of exciting features about this guy, but to start, this is a follow-up to the Nucleus Nano, which came out a few years ago, and as you can see, it has a pretty major facelift with the brand new LED screen. We're going to go over a few of the main overviews and then get into some of the details, but the main kind of points of this is the system is now going to accommodate up to 3 motors, which makes it not only a follow-up to the Nucleus Nano, but a pretty worthy opponent for the Nucleus M. So firstly, you can see on the screen we have a dial that can adjust your focus motor. On the hand unit itself, we also have a zoom dial that is able to adjust a second motor, sorry. Third motor would be controlled by an iris dial on this optional handle. So the design of the system is that you have the main hand unit, which is going to be available at the same price as the original for $299. It's going to be able to control 2 motors, and then we're going to have optional accessories that it can connect to. As you can see, this side handle mounts. It's going to provide additional battery life, which we'll touch on in just a moment, and it's also going to give you extra control, not just for a third motor, but also for Ronin control and a couple other new accessories that we're teasing here at the show. So looking in at the menu a little bit more closely, there's some pretty large firmware updates and just kind of like functionality that we can touch on. The big one that I think a lot of people are excited for is the camera control, which is going to be compatible with Sony, Canon, and Blackmagic models. We'll have an exact list coming a bit sooner, but right now the connectivity options would be USB-C, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth, and pretty much it will allow you to adjust it'll allow you to adjust settings like ISO, data rate, f-stop if you're using electronically controlled aperture lenses, white balance, all from one hand unit. Meaning if your camera's on a crane, if it's on a gimbal, if it's somewhere hard to reach, you now are able to control pretty important settings all with one device without having to use an app or any kind of different, connectivity option. The next major kind of update for the firmware on this unit is the lens data information. So this means that you're going to be able to calibrate and save that lens data information, much like larger, more expensive systems. Meaning you're going to save time on set. You're going to be able to input all the info for your lenses and be able to access that quickly while shooting. So looking at the unit physically, there are some big changes. A really big update to this is the USB-C that's on the hand wheel itself. This does now feature an internal battery, which is a pretty big departure from the Nucleus Nano. The internal battery can hold a charge and run the system consistently for 7 hours, which doesn't sound like a crazy amount, but that's if you're spinning the wheel constantly. For most kind of production, commercial, any kind of like narrative, maybe outside of documentary work, you are going to be getting closer to 15 to 16 hours power, but we also are introducing some expanded power options, which kind of plays into the modular design, as you can see here with the handle. This handle runs off of an F570 battery, meaning that it's able to extend the battery life of the Nucleus Nano II a little bit longer, and it's also able to provide a swappable battery, so that if you are kind of somewhere remote and relying just on the internal battery, you have options to power it a little bit longer. The reason that we added this internal battery is because the USB-C port is now able to accept higher voltages. We no longer need to worry about the kind of voltage range or the kind of limited options for powering. If you're using a setup with a monitor, wireless video, you probably already are using gold mount, V mount, maybe TB50s. So the USB-C and internal battery is going to allow you to kind of tap into that power to power your follow focus system for much longer to come. So there's a couple other fun features that we're going to be announcing soon. People in NAB have already been getting to play around with it, kind of see what this thing has to show. We're expecting to have more information later this spring, with the very first orders and shipping likely starting in early summer. Whether that's June or July will be determined a little bit later. But yeah, we're very excited to bring a system like this, that has flexible options for camera control, gimbal control, focus control, essentially bringing, this kind of more professional 3-channel control option to a more accessible market. The prices are going to be very similar to the original Nano. We'll have different kits available with different motors. The motors are going to be a lot stronger than the original Nano, a lot closer to Nucleus M, meaning in a lot of ways this is not just an update to the Nano, but this is going to be a very worthy competitor for the Nucleus M itself. And I think the most exciting feature to kind of wrap it up would be that this is not necessarily a replacement for someone's existing follow focus system, as the connectivity, the wireless communication is going to be compatible with all previous iterations of the Nucleus, meaning Nucleus M, Nucleus Nano, even the Mirage motor can all be connected, paired, controlled. If you have the M Fizz, you want to control the Nano 2 motors, it's all going to work the same, meaning that you don't necessarily need to start over with a whole new system. You can, experience what the new motors are like, add the Fizz to your, setup for certain situations. So we're excited to see how this is able to streamline workflows and kind of help people create, inspiring stories a little bit more efficiently. So for more information, tilta.com. You can search Nucleus Nano once we have, the pages up there. Stay up to date on our social medias for updates, and keep an eye out for more information coming soon. I'm Nick from Tilta. We're at NAB 2023. Thanks for watching. Cool. Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've done a couple of these already, so I feel like I had enough to say. But this is one of the more in-depth.
I like that.
You got some good info.
Thank you.
Cool.
Are you going to sit up the double handshake? I apologize.
Do you want any like with that, like any?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just trying to act natural. But I was just like going back and forth.
Rolling?